Afternoon and welcome to the Jimmy Powell Oval. We have a top of the table bout here. A Nations Cup game between Eastern Caribbean and the Cayman Islands. Opening the batting for the Eastern Caribbean team on strike right now, Brian Corbin. On the other end, Sunil. That one is pulled away. And it hits the fence. It goes all the way for 4. Very, very easy for Brian Corbin to hit that one to the deep backward square boundary. That one was definitely way too short by Shamario. It was put away. And that one is hit again, and that one runs away. They put a man back there now. They're running for 2. This could be close. They get back for 2 runs comfortably in the end. Corbin not necessarily looking for a second run there, but his partner, Sunil, pushed him through. And that brings us to the end of the second over. The score moves on to 21 without loss. Umpires for this afternoon's game. Standing umpire currently is it Roy Robinson. And the square leg umpire is Mr. Courtney Young. Lovely sunshine here at the Jimmy Powell Oval this afternoon. No rain anywhere in sight. This is Conroy Wright to continue from the pavilion end, and he's bowling to Sunil. And this one is pitched up. It hits his pad. Half an appeal there from the fielders, but definitely missing the leg stump going down there. Conroy Wright will know Sunil well. Both of them have been playing cricket in the Cayman Islands for quite some time now. And Wright goes to the top of his mark and he comes in again. And that one is leg side-ish. It's swung away by Sunil. Good chase there by Ashke Naidu. They come back for 2. And the score moves on now to 23 without loss. Team fielding a lot of youngsters today, a lot of under 19 players and a couple under 15 players. This will be good experience for them. And that one bowls in, but it's a no ball. No ball signaled by umpire Robinson. He must have overstepped there. So unfortunately for the bowler, he'll have to go back and it'll be a free hit. Fortunate for Sunil, he'd tell you that he heard the umpire call that one, but I'm sure he didn't. Coming up now to Sunil. He will be a relieved man. Delivery, it's hit high up in the air. It's dropped. Not that it would matter, but it was dropped in the outfield. So 1 run taken. Signaled wide by umpire Robinson. Took him a while to get his hands up there, but definitely wide down the leg side. He also signals 1 for the over. Short ball put in there by Conroy Wright. That one was banished away for 4. Brian Corbin, he moves on to 24 from 13 deliveries. He's taken a liking to this bowling so far.
So I'm writing an essay on cats.
signaled there by umpire, was it Roy Robinson? Free hit signaled as well. So after 5 overs, the score now moves on to 42 for 1. Sunnell back in the hut, and Brian Corbin still there on 26 from 16 deliveries. He's been joined by Antoine Eiffel, who is on 2 from 6 deliveries so far. That one was hit away there again, a bit too short. And Brian Corbin puts it away. It hits the fence, 4 runs. The Cayman team will want to get a hold of this innings fairly quickly. They can't afford to let the Eastern Caribbean team score at will. That's what's happening right now. Captain Omar Willis will need to stem this flow of runs. Corbin not even breaking a sweat at this moment in time. Antoine Eiffel on strike now. The young left-hander. Willis changing around the field. And that's a no ball way over the waist there. No ball signaled by umpire Courtney Young. One of the easiest no balls he'll ever call. Free hit signal as well. So another opportunity for young Eiffel to see if he can get a boundary here. Just a reminder that we're still inside the power play. And that one is pulled away. He didn't hit it as well as he would like, but it runs away for 4 all the same. 4 runs to Antoine Eiffel. He pulled that one forward of deep mid wicket. Was once again way too short and put away. That one is played into the offside for an easy one. Backward point picks up and throws in. So wicket keeper for the day, Jalen Linton. And just a reminder, you're watching a Nations Cup 2025 match between the Cayman Islands and the Eastern Caribbean team, live from the Jimmy Powell Oval in West Bay. That one is short and it is pulled away again. Pulled away by Brian Corbin. It goes all the way for 6. He's loving the short bowling. Easy for him. Short bowling to Brian Corbin is a big no-no. Easily put away. He moves on to 37 from 19 balls. The score moves on to 60 for 1. The Cayman team struggling with their line and length here. Lots of short bowling. The ball just making its way back. It was on a train all the way to the West Bay Primary School, but it's been brought back by a fielder. Being checked over by umpire Young at the moment. But a really good shot there by Brian Corbin. And in he comes again. And that one is swatted by Corbin. That one goes all the way for 4. Swatted in front of square. In front of mid-wicket again and put away. Way too short. Corbin looking to get to a half century within the power play almost. He moves on to 41. In he comes. And this one is short. And that one is top edged, but it's going to run away all the way down to the boundary. It hits the fence. 4 more. Brian Corbin on a roll here. 6-4-4. That one was in the dark, but he'll take them anyway he gets them. The Cayman team will be glad to see the end of this power play. The power play now over. The score is 68 for 1. Eastern Caribbean moving at a rapid rate here. They're scoring at over 11 runs per over. Brian Corbin on 45. Antoine Eiffel on 7. That last over there went for a lot of runs. Coming on to bowl now is young Alessandro Morris Jr., also known as Gianni. He'll be bowling some left-arm Chinaman deliveries. He'll be bowling to his school's teammate, Antoine Eiffel. Let's see how he gets along. And that's a really good start here by young Morris. That one pitched just outside the off stump and turned away. That one was much too full and it's driven through the offside. They jump through for 1. And that's thrown back there by Conroy Wright, who's feeling at deep extra cover at the moment. And Brian Corbin, he's on 45. He's going to look to get to a 50 in this over, I'm sure. Captain Willis moving around the troops again. Just a reminder, a very young Cayman team out there today, with several key members of the squad being unavailable. And in comes young Morris, and this one is full. And Corbin pulls that one. Is it in the gap? Conroy Wright comes around to deep mid-wicket, and he throws it in. One bounce to the keeper, Jalen Linton. He would have said that he missed out on that one. And the bowler got away. Full and very nicely driven back to the bowler. The bowler getting away here. Delivery is much too full, but he's getting away with them at the moment. And in he comes again. He turns back. Not quite ready there. Young Morris comes in again, and that's a better delivery just outside the off stump. I feel cutting and missing that one. In he comes again. Much better delivery there by Morris. It's very well picked up at backward point. And that brings us to the end of an over that could have been much worse. Morris sneaking away with only 2 runs off of it. At the end of over number 7, the score now 70 for 1. Eastern Caribbean moving along at a good clip here. The Cayman team now able to spread the field and pull it back a bit after that power play. Coming on to bowl now from the proposed school end is Ashke Naidu. And he's going to be bowling some leg breaks. Slow and looping leg breaks. Naidu to Corbin. And Corbin gets back and he pulls that one down to deep backward square. It's picked up and thrown in. He only gets a single. He would have liked to be at the 50 mark by now, but he just moves on to 47. He'll want to get off of that number as soon as he can. Eiffel on 8 from 14. Actually driven down the ground. And that one goes through his legs all the way for 4. Oh my goodness. Who would have believed it? A misfield there. Right through his legs. Eiffel gifted a boundary there. He won't mind it. Driven, obviously, down to long off. Opened his legs, and that one went straight through them. That one is swept by Eiffel. Picked up by Wright. That brings Corbin back on strike. Eiffel moves on to 13. The score on to 76. And in comes Naidu again. And that one is a little bit shorter. It turns away. And Corbin misses that one. Naidu spinning a web here, ball into Corbin. And that one is short, and Corbin gets back and defends that one. He's just going to see him out this over. Definitely a win there for Naidu in that over. He does not mind that based on how things have been going so far. Eastern Caribbean starting to slow down a little bit here. Corbin on 47, that nervous number. He's not able to move forward off of that just yet. But at the moment, it looks as if he's going to get... He's not on strike just yet. And here's Young Morris. He's bowling to Young Eiffel. And that one is hit on his pads. And it's bowled him. What a delivery there by Young Morris. Young Morris picks him up, bowled him, and hit his off stump. It looked like it played on there from his pads. And Eiffel will rule missing out on this bowling here. Good delivery there by Young Morris. Hits the stumps and bowls him. So the Cayman team picking up another wicket here. That takes the score on to 76 for 2. A nice turning delivery there. Hit his off stump. Corbin still there on 47. And to the crease now, Jermaine Lewis. He's going to be facing Young Morris, and in comes Morris. And that one is full and it's pulled away. That is a gift to get first up. An absolute gift there to Lewis. Morris after a great delivery. That one's pulled away for 4. Morris to Lewis. And that one is full. It's swept away. Out to deep mid wicket. It's picked up, thrown in. And just one run there. Morris struggling to find his line and length again after a good delivery to get rid of Eiffel. And he's going to be bowling now to the informed Brian Corbin. And that one is a much better delivery, but it's pulled away. Deep backward a square. Runs away along this fast outfield. It hits the fence. 4 runs. And Brian Corbin, he moves on to 51. That's a half century for Brian Corbin. He's in form. He's in a great bit of form right now. Brian Corbin, he moves on to 51. The score 85 for 2. Young Morris struggling to find his line and length here again. Field moving around. Corbin moves on. Lewis at the crease. And that one is a very good delivery there by Morris. Defended into the offside. They get 1 run. Just a reminder, you're watching a Nations Cup game here between the Cayman Islands and Eastern Caribbean at the Jimmy Powell Oval in West Bay. Lewis hits that one down the ground. It comes down, it bounces, it's thrown in. Good piece of fielding. And I believe there's One over. No, that brings us to the end of over number 9. Brian Corbin at the crease on 52. His 50 coming off just about 27 balls. And Jermaine Lewis, he's there on 6 from 3, thanks to that gift from young Morris. On at the proposed school end now is Ash K. Naidu. And he's going to be seeing if he can pick up a wicket here for the Cayman team, who's struggling to get things going in the field. Just a reminder, they won the toss, elected to bowl. I guess they figure that they'll be able to chase down anything that's set before them today. And we'll see how it goes from there. In comes Naidu. And that one is bowled to Lewis. Lewis hitting it back straight to the bowler. Picked up by Naidu. And in he comes again. And that one is hit. Is he going to catch that one? It should be out caught, and he's gone. That's the end of Lewis. A good piece of bowling there by Ashke Naidu. That one not gotten well by Lewis, and Lewis goes. He was given a promotion in the order today, seeing if he can put a little bit of an impetus onto the innings. He wasn't able to do that. And that brings us to the end of Lewis. So, to the crease now. Ramlagan. And in comes Naidu. He's bowling to him. Another left-hander. And he tries to turn that one into the onside for one. He doesn't get one. A good piece of work there by Jalen Linton, who picks that one up. And in comes Naidu again. And that one is short. That one is pulled away. Conroy right at deep mid wicket, moves around, he picks it up, and he throws it in. He has a fantastic arm straight over the bails. Great throw in there by Conroy Wright, also known as Super Blacks. Great piece of fielding there. Brian Corbin, the man in form, he's back on strike. He's on 52 at the moment. And Ash K. Naidu will be bowling to him. There's 5 outside. Waffed at that one outside the off stump. He missed it. There's a deep cover. A long off, a long on. A deep hit. And a deep Naidu. A ring on the offside. And this one is bowled outside. It's a French cut. We call that one. Inside edge. Beat the stumps and everything. And he gets one. A good piece of bowling there from Ashke Naidu. He's been the pick of the bowlers so far. And Eastern Caribbean, they move on to 89 for 3 after 10 overs. Corbin on 53 from 30 deliveries. And Malcolm on 1 from 2. Young Morris to continue here from the pavilion end. That one is looped up high and is driven through the covers by Brian Corbin. But there's a man out there sweeping. He'll only get one. The field well set now. 5 fielders outside the circle as is customary in T20. Our customary limited overs cricket nowadays. Ramlagan using the Shandapal method to mark his guard. And he looks at the field, he taps away, and in comes Morris once again. And he sweeps that one, it goes over the head of the keeper. Linton picks up, has a throw at the stumps. He hits them, but Corbin is safely home. Never a threat there of a run out. Wicketkeeper clearly just making sure that he's locked on target for the real opportunity. But a very, very easy one there by Brian Corbin. And young Morris comes in now, and he's up to bowl, and this one is shot. This one is outside Brian Corbin's leg stump. He helps that one, and it goes all the way for 4. Easily put away there by Brian Corbin. It hits the fence now. 4 runs. Morris here, bowling to Brian Corbin. Brian Corbin taking a liking to his bowling. He's on 58 from 32 deliveries. And in comes young Morris again, bowling from the pavilion end. He's up to bowl. And this one is slower. Different line. And it's knurled into the leg side by Brian Corbin for 1. Not sure why Vic Daniram hasn't come to the creases yet. Usually he would be batting much higher in this Eastern Caribbean team. But he's probably playing a different role today. In comes Morris again. He's bowling to Ramladan. And that one is hit away into the covers. No run there. In comes Morris. That one is full and is driven. And Willis stops that one with his right foot. No run. Brings us to the end of over number 11. The score 96 for 3. Eastern Caribbean building a solid foundation for a good total here. They're going to want to get near to that 170 mark, that 170, 180 mark for sure. Will they get there? Only time will tell. Ashke Naidu, he is coming back onto bowl from the proposed school end. And he'll be bowling to Brian Corbin. And in he comes now. He's up to bowl, and that one is outside. His off-stump, that one is hit high over long off, and it goes all the way for 6. A great shot there by Brian Corbin. He's the man in form. He's having a good time. And that one goes all the way back for 6 runs. Easily hit over the head of the bowler. and the long off fielder. It goes all the way for 6. And in comes Naidu once again. And that one is looped up, and this one is dragged into the leg side by Corbin. He's just going to trot through for a single here. He may actually have his eye on 100 today. He definitely has enough time to score one, but the score now moves on to 103 for 3, and Brian Corbin moves on to 66. That one is dragged down and is pulled to deep mid-wicket. Young Morris gets around and throws it in. They run 2 runs. Good piece of running there from Corbin and Ram Logan. And a good piece of fielding there by young Morris. He came around the boundary and picked up and got it in to the wicketkeeper, Jalen Linton. Naidu looking for some reprieve in this over here. He's going for a bit of runs. That one is cut away, and that's a great stop there at backward point. That's a really good stop there by young Timol. And it prevents a run. Good piece of fielding there by the youngster at backward point. A one-hand stop. So we now have Naidu getting away with it here a bit. That one's shorter, and that one is played into the onside for no run. Ramlagan showed his frustration here, but there was no run on. Umpire Young signaling to Umpire Robinson that there's just one more delivery left in this over. And now the angle has been changed by Naidu. He's coming around the wicket. And that one is hit into the leg side. Are they going to run for 2? I don't think Corbin is going to turn back here. I think he's just going to trot through and collect 1 run. And the score now moves on to 106 for the loss of 3 wickets. Brian Corbin still at the crease. He's on 66. And Malcolm Ramlagan there on 5 from 9 deliveries. Ashke Naidu has both 3 overs for 18 runs so far. A small water break being taken here. It's a little bit hot. Of course, it's about 91 degrees outside today. Haven't seen any Christmas breeze or fall breezes as yet here in West Bay. However, game here going very well. Young Morris to continue bowling. And he is bowling to Morris. He's bowling to Ramlagan here, who misses out on that one. Just want to say good afternoon to all of our listeners listening in from all parts of the globe. That one is driven past extra cover. Gets around and is picked up. And 1 run is run. Could be 2 here now. Yep, 2 definitely on overthrows. Not backed up there. A wild throw from the boundary line. And the batsmen take advantage and they get 2 runs. In comes young Morris again, and he's up to bowl, and that one is outside the outside. It's driven down the ground to long off. Long off jogs in and picks it up and throws it in. 1 run. So Eastern Caribbean going along nicely here. They're scoring at over 8, almost 9 runs and over. The light does fade quickly here at the Jimmy Powell Oval in the evening. We'll be hoping that we can at least get in enough overs to complete a game. But so far, so good. The light not above that this time. And that one is hit down to long off. Is it going to be caught? And it's pushed over the bar all the way for 6. Young Timol on the boundary line. He pushed that one over the fence like a volleyball player. It goes all the way back for 6. Corbin gifted a 6 here. He's shown a little bit of fatigue. He didn't hit that one as well as he would have liked. It was put away. And young Morris would rue a missed chance there. Unfortunate, but that's a part of the game. This one hit high now. This one should be gone. It's hit to Conroy Wright at deep mid wicket and it's taken. Conroy Wright takes that one. Brian Corbin top edge that one from young Morris. And he's got to go for 72. A really, really good knock here. 72 from 36 deliveries. Brian Corbin goes. A really good knock there by Brian Corbin. He gave the Eastern Caribbean team the start that they were looking for. 115, the score right now from 12.45 overs, sorry. A really, really good knock there from Brian Corbin. And that brings the captain, Vic Daniram, to the crease. He is not going to be one to hang around. He's going to get it going as soon as he can. And Morris picks up his second wicket. He would have missed that opportunity, the delivery before, but he managed to pick up that one. A really good catch. A really good catch there by Conroy right at deep mid wicket. And Vic Daniram at the crease now. In comes young Morris. Turns that one into the leg side for 1. An easy single there. He's going to want to keep the momentum going in this innings. The Eastern Caribbean team here on 116 for 4. They're going to be looking for 160 to 170 runs at least in this inning. But they have to push it to get there. Continuing from the proposed school end, Ash K. Naidu. My apologies for the pronunciation of the name there. It's Akshay Naidu. He's going to be bowling and continuing from the proposed school end. And in he comes. And that one is short and it's pulled away. High, handsome, all the way for 6 runs. Naidu pulling that one down and punished all the way for 6. Naidu again, and he's bowling to Vic. And that one is short. It's pulled down to long on. Who comes around and picks up. They get 1 run. Ram Logan back on strike now. Vic is not going to let anything short get away from him. That one is short and pulled just in front of deep mid wicket. Young Morris comes around, he picks up and throws in. One bounce to the keeper. A good piece of fielding there. The Cayman team, they're going to be facing about 160 or 170 runs here. And in comes Akshi Naidu again. And this one is hit high up in the air. It goes all the way back again for 6 more. Naidu being punished here by Vic Daniram. I asked why he didn't come to bat earlier. And this is the reason why he can really, really punish you. Anything loose is going to be put away. That one was hit high and hard and goes all the way back for 6 runs. Vic showing a little bit of class here, punching that one into the offside off his back foot. So deep extra cover. Young Morris throws that one back in. Naidu going for a bit of runs here. This over gone for 15 runs already, with 1 delivery still left to go. But this is the last delivery of his spell. And that one is defended back down the pitch. A dot ball to finish up for Naidu. That moves the score and keeps the score on 131 for 4 after 14 overs. Eastern Caribbean moving along nicely here. Coming on to bowl now from the pavilion end is the skipper, Omar Willis. He is going to be bowling to Vic Daniram, who's going to want to get on top of him pretty early and not let him settle. Umpire Zitroy Robinson notifying the scorers there that Willis is coming on to bowl. And just a reminder once again, you're watching the Nations Cup. Cayman versus Eastern Caribbean. And in comes Willis. And that one is dragged down. It's hit only into the deep, but for 1 run. And Willis won't mind that. Danny Ram will feel as if he missed out there on the occasion to score a bit more. But he didn't get away. Didn't get that one away at all. Ramlogan now on strike, the left-hander, to Willis. And in comes Willis again from the pavilion end. Ramlogan is going to look to score here. And he cuts this one away into the offside. It's picked up, it's thrown. It's a good throw, but it's away from the keeper. And nobody backing up there. They get 2. They get 2 runs. A direct hit would have had him in trouble there, but a good piece of running to pick up 2 runs. And this one is hit high up in the air. It doesn't get all the way down to long on. Ramlogan, as I said, he's going to look to score. But he didn't get a hold of that one at all. Danny Ram facing up here to Willis. And that one is a full toss, and Danny Ram pats it back to the bowler. He gets away with that full toss. He'll be ruining that missed opportunity there to score. But I'm pretty sure he's going to look to score off of this next one. He's going to try and hit this one for 6. And in comes Willis, and this one is pitched up, and it's hit high and straight, and it goes all the way back for 6. Just as I said, he's going to look to score. He's going to look to score as much as he can. Danny Ram hitting that one straight back over the bowler's head, all the way for 6. He missed it on the full toss, but you know he was not going to miss it on the next delivery. And Danny Ram moves on to 22 from 8 deliveries. Another full toss hit down to wide long on. It's picked up by the fielder and it's thrown in. And that brings us to the end of over number 15. The score now 142 for 4. Eastern Caribbean going at a clip here. One hit deep in, and it's always put down. Oh, goodness gracious. Vic gave the bowler a gift there, one that should have been put away for 6. He hit it straight into the hands of wide long on, but it has been put down. And he's checking the bottom of his bat. That one came off the toe. But another chance goes a begging here for the Cayman team. They would have liked to get Vic Duniram back into the hut, but he stays. Much better delivery there. Dragged into the leg side. They're going to run for 2. They should get it easily. Good running there between wickets. 2 runs. That one was hit into no man's land. So always 2 runs on the cards. And that one is down the leg side. It should be wides. Akshay Naidu runs around, picks up, and throws it in. They get 2. Leg by signaled by umpire Young. And he also signals that the over is completed halfway through. Great delivery there. Vic pushes it into the leg side. He gets 1. He could have been gone this over, Vic, but he's still out there. He's on 25 from 11 deliveries. Ram Logan struggling to get going here. He's on 15 from 19. Swung into the deep mid-wicket area, picked up by Young Morris. He throws in 1 bounce, 2 into the keeper. And Linton showing a signal there to the bowler that he did well that over. Really good over there. here, bowling to Vic Daniram. Daniram's going to try to get on top of him here and take him for a few more boundaries. We'll see how he goes. And in Willis comes to Vic. And this one is hit high and handsome. It goes all the way for 6 over deep mid wicket. Easily put away there by Vic Daniram. Willis dragging that one down short, and it was put away. Vic hit that one high and hard as well. He's taking a liking to Willis's bowling here. That one was hit high and went all the way back there, checking the ball. It's on fire. He tosses it to Willis. Willis not sure what to bowl here to Vic. Vic on 37 from 13. And in he comes again to Vic. And Vic goes straight back down the pitch. And he's run out. A bit of footwork there from Willis. That's so unfortunate. A great piece of footwork there. What a way to go. He goes run out off the foot of Omar Willis. A bit of football magic there. Manchester United could use that tomorrow. And I can say without a shadow of a doubt, that's one of the worst ways to get out in this game called cricket. Very, very unfortunate there for the batsman. But the Cayman team will take them anyway they come at this point. Still another 4 overs to go after this one. And 163 is what the score is right now on the board. Motto goes, first delivery. Motto has been struggling of late. I haven't seen him past 10 in the last 3 or 4 months. He's been struggling to get off the mark. They tell me he can bat a bit, but he hasn't showed that. Motto struggling once again, and he goes, he's bold. That is the end of Motto. He didn't even bother the bowlers. And that brings Yannick Henry, also known as Majin Buu, to the crease. That one is tickled down the leg side by Majin Buu. He runs back for 2. Oh, it was tickled by his legs. Leg by signal there by umpire Courtney Young. So nothing off the bat yet for Majin Henry. And in comes Young Tamul, and he bowls this one. This one is hit outside the off stump. And the sweeper at deep extra cover picks up and throws that one in. Good piece of fielding there And the score now moves on to 166 for 6. Vic Daniram, he's checking the field. He's going to be looking to go big here if he can. And in he comes, and this one is short. And that one is hit high. Deep backwards. Square goes all the way back for 6. Swept away there by Vic Daniram. That one was on the leg stump, begging to be hit away. And Vic moves on now to 43 from just 15 deliveries. He's moving the Eastern Caribbean team there onto 172 for 6. He is in some mood today. I asked why he didn't come to the crease earlier. He would have maybe scored 100 by now. This one on the leg stump again, and this one is hit away and goes all the way back for 6 once again. Back-to-back 6s here for Vic Daniram, all the way back. 6 more. And that moves him on to 49. Still one delivery left to go in this over. 15 runs and a wicket from it so far. But Vic punishing the bowlers here. He's not sure what to bowl next. The fielders are sitting down. They're on their hunches, a lot of them. They're dropping their heads, this Cayman team at the moment. 178 is on the board. I said that they were looking to score 160, 170. Now they're definitely going to try to score 200 runs. If they don't get rid of Vic Daniram, he may score 100 of them by himself. Young takes up his position, and this, the last delivery of the over, is he going to hit this one as well? And he defends this one straight back down the pitch. Surprising. A dot ball to finish off the over. Vic now on 49 from 17 deliveries. Yannick Henry, Majin Boo, just to the crease. He's on 1 from 2. And the score now, 178 for 6 with 2 overs to go. 12 deliveries left in this innings. The Eastern Caribbean team, they're going to try to push on to get to 200. The Cayman team will be beginning to think about their batting innings, how they're going to approach this innings. They're missing one of their key batsmen, Andre McCarthy, who's unavailable for this game. So they're going to rely heavily on the experience of the other batsmen that they have available to them today. Akshay Naidu, Omar Willis, Jalen Linton. They're going to rely heavily on those guys to see if they can get them going. Yannick Henry here. He's on strike. Majin Boo. Willis to both. And Willis so far, 2 overs for 24 runs. No wickets. He usually has a bit of a golden arm. And that one is pulled out. And wow, that one's missed everything. It hits Majin Boo's pads. Willis would be glad to get away with that one. It was dragged down short. It was missed out by Henry, who couldn't get it away. And that one is hit high up in the air. Who wants it? Is it going to be caught? And it is caught on the rebound. A really good catch there. I told you he had a bit of a golden arm. And he picks up a wicket. That of Yannick Henry. Majin Boo goes for 1. The Cayman team will be glad to get that one. Vic Daniram, he's still at the crease. He's a danger man right now, and he's not on strike. Of course, the rules of the game here doesn't matter if you cross while running anymore. So just a reminder that These two teams, Eastern Caribbean and the Cayman team, they're already through to the semifinals. There's going to be a semifinal and a final to follow. Not next weekend, but the weekend after. And in comes Willis. He's bowling to Jamil Buchanan. And Jamil cuts that one away into the offside. They get one. So, Vic Daniram, the danger man, he's back on strike. He's definitely going to be looking to score big here. He's going to be looking to hit some boundaries. Vic Daniram. Field moves around slightly. Everyone on the inner circle bracing the circle, and the boundary riders are all the way out. And this one is hit high up in the air. It could be caught, but it falls into no man's land, and Vic gets to 50, and he comes back for 2. So Vic Daniram, he moves on to 51. That's 51. He ran one short. One short, so still 50. He gets to 50 from 18 deliveries. 50 for Vic Daniram. $50 up for Vic Daniram in quick time. 18 deliveries. That's all he needed. I'm telling you, if he batted earlier, he would have gotten to 100. The score now, 180 for 7. And he moves across his stumps, and this one is pitched up and is driven, and it goes through his legs. And they get 2. Two runs there to Vic Daniram. He's going to be looking to go big here. He's going to be looking to score heavy. The score, it hasn't updated yet, but the score is 182 for 7. And that one is outside Vic's off stump. Well bowled there by Omar Willis. A dot ball in these circumstances is golden. And that brings him to the end of his spell and to the end of that over. The score after over number 19 is 182. Should be 182. And that actually brings us to the end of the innings. They're playing 19 overs. So they will be happy with that, the Eastern Caribbean team. They managed to get up to 180, 181. Really, really, really good batting performance there by the Eastern Caribbean team. Just a recap of the scorecard. Sunil, 6 from 11 deliveries. Brian Corbin, a fantastic innings of 72 from 37 deliveries. Fatigue got the best of him, and he was unable to carry on to 100. Antoine Eiffel lent a little bit of support there with 13 from 17 deliveries before he was bowled by one of his teammates, young Alessandro Morris Jr. Jermaine Lewis, 6 from 5. He didn't do much there. Malcolm Ramlagan, 17 from 23, lent good support. Vic Daniram at the end there with a fire innings of 50 from 19 deliveries. A really good knock there. He actually got to 50 from 18 balls. Andre Scott, also known as Muddo, 1 delivery, a golden duck for him. He didn't bother the scorers. And Yannick Henry, 1 from 4, didn't do much. And Jamil Buchanan at the end there, 2 from 2. In the bowling, the pick of the bowlers today, Conroy Wright, 2 overs for 12 runs. He was the pick of the bowlers. Young Morris picked up 2 wickets, 4 for 30. That was not bad by him at all. Ramon Seeley, did not actually play this game, and that is incorrect. That was actually Young Timol. He bowled 4 for 51. Shamario Cart, 2 for 24. Akshay Naidu, he bowled 4 overs for 33 runs, 1 wicket. And Omar Willis, 3 overs for 27 runs, 1 wicket. So, the Cayman team will require 182 runs to win this one. It's going to be a little bit difficult, but I think if everything goes according to their plan, they should be able to get those runs. It's going to be difficult. They're going to have to rely on the experience of Akshay Naidu, Omar Willis, and a few other guys to get those runs on the board. Jalen Linton as well. But as it stands right now, they will require 183 to win this one. We'll be back with you after a short break when we hopefully that the light will hold. Come back to the Jimmy Powell Oval, where the Cayman team is about to start their inning. The score needed is 182. And opening the batting for the Cayman team is Akshay Naidu and Jalen Linton. They'll be opening the batting for the Cayman team. 182 required. Reminder as well, you're watching the 2025 Nations Cup from the Jimmy Powell Oval here in West Bay. Good evening to all of our watchers from all over the world. We do have a fading light situation. Definitely won't be able to get through the 20 overs this evening, so Duckworth Lewis is going to play a part. Opening bowling is Cleo. He's coming from the pavilion, and in he comes to Naidu. And that one is very wide. Swings past the keeper. Wide signal there by umpire Zitroy Robinson. Jalen Linton, the veteran, he's here on strike. Goes by the nickname of Hoops, after Carl Hooper, of course. And in comes Cleo. So Jalen Linton. And Linton powers that one into the offside. They don't get a run. A full toss. That one picked up by Kevin Basil. That short extra cover. He's not as short as he is used to fielding. And in comes Cleo. Once again, he's bowling to Linton. And that one is driven, and that one goes straight to the cover field, man. No run. The Cayman team is going to need to get going here. They're going to need to score faster. Light is going to fade pretty rapidly here at the Jimmy Powell Oval. The time right now, locally, 5:27 p.m. That one is wide outside the off stump. Linton waves his bat at that one. Nothing happens. Just a wide delivery signaled by umpire Robinson. This over is going to take a while at this rate. The light may fade before the first one is over. In comes Cleo, and this one is pitched up. Could have been driven. He pokes it into the offside. They run one, a quick single into the offside, and Linton is off the mark. The Cayman team missing some of their key players. They should have more of them back next week. For next weekend's games, just a reminder as well. That's a full toss, and that one is hit over the covers. It runs into the boundary. 4 runs. He's not going to miss it on those. Easily put away there by Akshay Naidu. Full toss, wide outside the off stump, played over the covers, and it runs over this fast Jimmy Powell outfield for 4. It's hit up in the air, and it's taken. What a catch there by Sunil at wide mid-off inside the circle. Naidu, that one didn't come onto the bat. He didn't hit that one, and he goes. That's a big blow for the Cayman team. One of their mainstay batsmen, Akshay Naidu, he goes. 4 runs, and he's back in the pavilion. The Eastern Caribbean team will not mind him going out to bat here. At number 3, looks like Paul Chin for the Cayman team. Paul Chin going into bat at number 3. He hasn't batted this high in quite some time. He usually applies his trade as a lower order batsman. Today he's been given a promotion to number 3. Cleo again, he's bowling to Paul Chin. And this one is pitched up. It hits the inside edge, and that one runs into the leg side. Good running here by Linton and Chin, former Cayman under-19 teammates and national senior team teammates. Linton and Chin, of course, now 40 years old and 44 years old, respectively. So definitely not under-19s anymore. But they still managed to get back for an easy 2 there. To bowl now from the proposed school end is Vic Daniram. He's going to be bowling to the veteran Jalen Mr. Nees Linton. Linton, also known as Hooper, will be looking to get the Cayman team underway here. And that one is hit into the offside. A diving chance there. Goes over his head. They come back for an easy 2. Eastern Caribbean thought there was an opportunity there to remove Linton from the crease, but it didn't happen. You may not be able to see it on camera, but light is fading very, very quickly here at the Jimmy Powell Oval. Our cameras are top-notch, and we're able to bring you these world-class images at the moment. And that one is hit down the leg side. And Linton comes back for 2. As I said, they definitely won't get through the 20 overs this evening, but they're hoping that Eastern Caribbean will hope that they can at least get to 5 overs to make this a contest. The Cayman team, they're going to try to score as much as they can in that allotment of overs so that when Duckworth Lewis is done, they hope they can be on top. Losing a wicket early would not help them, but the scoring rate isn't too bad at the moment. And Linton edges that one, and they run through for 1. Chin comes through. He picks up a single. Mr. Linton picked up that short 3rd man by Cleo. Past the gloves of Majin Buu. And in comes Vic again. And Paul Chin, he pushes this one into the offside. Easy single once again for Chin. Danny Ram won't mind that as long as he doesn't go for any boundaries. He'll be happy with that. And Linton, he's going to look to score a boundary here, I'm sure, to get things going. He forces that one, doesn't get a run. And Danny Ram, he runs back to his mark. Another dot ball there. And that brings us to the end of the over. Over number 2 of this inning. And umpire Zitroy Robinson is hastily making his way to the standing umpire position. Light is fading quickly here at the Jimmy Powell Oval. I just asked if we can turn on the lights. However, they're unavailable at this time. Here comes Cleo. He's bowling to Paul Chin. And Paul Chin misses that one, and that ball misses the stumps and everything else. Chin was late on that one. Chin played university cricket in England before returning to the Cayman Islands with his master's in marine biology. And I can say that that delivery had him looking like he was swimming quite slowly. And in comes Cleo again to Chin. And that one misses everything again. He's late. Those balls are swinging away from his stumps. Lucky for him, if they were straight, they would be hitting all three, and we'd be seeing timber. But Chin survives. Definitely going to be a question of light coming up soon. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe he just can't see those deliveries. So in comes Cleo again. He's bowling from the pavilion end, the players' pavilion end at the Jimmy Powell Oval, and in he comes. And that one also misses everything. 3 dot balls in a row here. Not good for the Cayman team. As I said, Chin, usually a lower order batsman. Not sure why he's promoted to number 3 today, but the captain saw fit to do so. And who am I to question the captain? In comes Cleo. And Chin comes down the pitch, and that one is hit high up in the air. It should be caught, and it's taken by Vic Daniram. He ran around in front of Kevin Basil there. He didn't trust Basil, and that's the end of Chin. He runs off the field. He didn't hang around for very long. He must have somewhere to go. Either that or he didn't want to be captured by the camera. But another wicket there for Eastern Caribbean. The Cayman team here in a spot of bother. At 16 for 2. Linton still at the crease, 6 from 8. And going to the crease now is the captain, Omar Willis. He's going in at number 4. In fading light. In fading light, he comes to the crease. Close the play, can't be very far away at this point. Eastern Caribbean still very, very short of the overs required to get a game in, but I think the umpires are going to allow them to push it through at least until that point. And we hope that we can at least allow Duckworth Lewis to do its thing and to have a game here. Willis gets off the mark with his first delivery. He plays that one into the onside. Light fading fast here at the Jimmy Powell Oval. There was a proposal to move these games due to the lighting conditions, and I think that that's going to have to be revisited at this point, given that it doesn't seem as if we'll even get to 10 overs in the second inning, and we started on time. So in comes Cleo, and he's bowling to Linton. And that's a full toss, and Linton hits that one straight back down the ground, and it comes all the way into the boundary. A straight shot from Linton. Hooper himself hits that one back past the bowler, past Sunil, and it hits the fence like a gunshot. 4 runs.
Yeah, that was a fantastic shot there by Jalen Linton. Hooper himself would be quite impressed with that stroke play. It went full toss, but it was struck beautifully down the ground. Much needed runs for Cayman at this stage, because I would believe in terms of the Duckworth Lewis, they would be behind with 2 wickets down at this stage. doesn't go for good reading for Cayman. And Vic is a wily old camper. He's trying to rush through his overs to get that game in. 5 overs, and I think what Omar needs to do here as a skipper is to take his time and not be rushed by Vic, because I'm pretty sure he's going to want to back to his marker very quickly and try to rush this over, and Omar needs to be aware of this and not allow himself to be rushed by Vic. That's a slog sweep into the mid-wicket area. Beautiful shot all the way for 6. What a fantastic shot. Against the run of play, Jalen and now Omar has scored 2 boundaries. That was picked up lovely off the middle stump all the way over mid-wicket. Omar didn't waste any time at the crease. He's gone. He knows that Cayman is behind on the runs at this point for the Duckworth Lewis, and therefore his objective is quite clear here. He needs to get the run rate up for Cayman in order to get Cayman in contention in this game, because the light is fading pretty quickly at this stage, and there's no chance that we'll get 20 overs in. So most likely this game will be determined by the Duckworth Lewis system. Here's Vic again, and Omar is tucking that one into the onside, and he has made his intentions clear. So I'm pretty sure anything in his arc will be going. And then again, Vic, very smart bowler. And then again, Omar, and on the attack, over the infield on the offside, he takes 1, comes back for the second, is picked up. The return comes to the keeper's end. It's not a very good show. Sunil there doing the chase, and Omar has now picked up 8 off this over so far. And I think that another boundary is needed at this stage, and they're really well behind at this stage. I think Eastern Caribbean were 40-something runs in comparison at over number 4, and therefore some runs is needed at this stage. And Omar goes on the attack again, and that one bundled into the offside, no run. So just the 8 runs off that over. I think mission accomplished there by Eastern Caribbean. We're still ahead at this stage, and it's quite unfortunate. At this time of year in Cayman, the light goes very quickly, and therefore I think the adjustment, I think we've heard a lot of discussions with the tournament organizers, competitions group here in Cayman, discussing the possibilities of changing the times for these games. And towards the back end of this tournament, it's obvious that we are not going to be able to play at the same times and complete 20 overs. And so therefore, of course, the competitions committee will be looking closely at this and making the adjustment. At this stage, it's down the leg side. A loud appeal could be just to distract the umpire from calling a wide. The umpire says it brushed the pads on the way through. So mission accomplished there by Eastern Caribbean, and it's a dot ball. At this stage is a gold. Eastern Caribbean is quietly moving along with their plan to restrict Cayman in this first power play. So at least if the game is called off, they'll be well ahead. And a very good delivery again. That one is a tall bowler, so he's getting the ball when it's full to swing away a bit, and then when it's short, it's bouncing. So he's not the easiest to play at this stage. Just the kind of thing that Eastern Caribbean needs to keep Cayman on the lid, or keep the lid on things for Cayman. We've been treated to some very good stroke play, but in between that, it's been quite restrictive. Again, another good delivery into the pads, and Jalen decides this time push it to the man at mid-on and take 1. I think at this stage, the option should be that Omar takes charge here. He's the more senior player in terms of his ability at this stage, and he should be the one to take charge. And now he has 3 deliveries to face to see how best he can take the score closer to the target for Duckworth Lewis to take effect. And he's chipping down the pitch, missing that one. Again, the delivery swinging away. I think hitting him with a back towards the onside is not the way to go. He's swinging the ball away from the right hander. So it's best to try and hit with the swing. Try to hit over cover or into the offside is a much better option than to use the bottom hand to try to hit into the onside. Let's see if Omar will make that adjustment. That's much better approach. Again, trying to hit through the onside. And a loud appeal. And Omar has walked, has he? The umpire did not give him out. He's out. And Omar has walked. Interesting. And co-commentator, I did not see the umpire give him out.
I haven't seen it either, but clearly he's playing that honesty is the best policy here. And he's decided that he's definitely out and he's walked.
Quite interesting. I feel look very confident from where we are standing. The entire team went up, so I'm assuming it was clear. The umpires was not moved, but then Omar decided, he felt something and he decided to walk. And you hardly see this in the sport anymore because a lot of batsmen are given out when they're not, and they have to take it. So sometimes batsmen decide, when I'm out, if I'm not giving out, I'm not going. And you can understand both arguments. However, in this case, Omar decided he knows something happened and he decided he's going to walk. So kudos to him in the spirit of the game. That is fantastic to see. And now you can safely say that Eastern Caribbean is well on top at this stage. Well on top. I know there were almost 50 runs after 5 overs. So at this stage, you would have to say Eastern Caribbean is in the driver's seat.
Eastern Caribbean here have the Cayman team in a lot of problems, a bit of bother. That one is driven down the ground to Sunil. He picks up and throws it back in. Bowls him. That's the end of Shem. He didn't really bother the scorers too much there. Shot there, hits the fence. He chipped down and hit that one into the deep wicket boundary. That is Jalen Linton, also known as Hooper, playing that one. He's playing a decent knock here. Is Linton still showing that he has something left in the tank? And his bat is lost there. That slipped out of his hands. He probably has to get himself some new gloves, but Linton doing very, very well here for the Cayman team. The score, 36 for 4 after 6 overs. Nowhere near where they need to be for Duckworth Lewis, but they're fighting through here. We have a little bit of light. The sun has shown itself through the clouds, so it looks like we'll have an extension in play. Stumped off of a wide there. Basil saw Linton coming, and he pushed that one wide outside the off stump. And first class, as he's known in Guyana, he's gone. He's taking a wicket here in the dark, light fading, and coming to the crease now is Conroy Wright. 7.3 overs. The score now 44 for 5. The Cayman team struggling here. They're trying to get going, but they can't. And Ramlagan is trying to get some wickets here and wrap up this innings. Cayman well behind on Duckworth Lewis, and light fading very, very quickly here at the Jimmy Powell Oval. And as I have said, the light here at the Jimmy Powell Oval has faded well beyond what it should be. And although our cameras are showing that there is some light out there, there is not enough light for play. So at 6 o'clock p.m. Cayman time, that is going to bring us to the end of the innings. The Eastern Caribbean team definitely victorious here. And we're going to have to call this one a day, unfortunately. Eastern Caribbean were on it from ball one. They put up a massive total, over 180 runs in their innings, and put the Cayman team under a lot of pressure. And I would like to say that from the outset, it was going to be a very daunting task for the Cayman team. And the umpires, Zitroy Robinson and senior umpire Courtney Young, calling this one early after 8 overs being bowled in the second inning. And that brings us to the close of play today in the match between the Cayman Islands and Eastern Caribbean. Just a recap of the game quickly. Eastern Caribbean, they were put into bat by the Cayman team, and it seems as if they would have liked that decision. Brian Corbin, top scoring with 72 from 37 deliveries. Vic Daniram, 50 from 19 deliveries in the end. And in the batting for the Cayman Islands, nothing much happening here. Jalen Linton, the only person into double figures in this innings. As I said, the Cayman team playing quite short today. Notice that although it's showing Wyatt Jalim and Ramon Seeley there on the scorecard, they did not play today. They were not in this 11. Those names were being used for 2 people who were not originally on the team list. And unfortunately, that brings us to the end of our innings and game here at the Jimmy Powell Oval. So just a reminder of how this competition is going. The Nations Cup 2025, these have not been adjusted yet, but what's going to happen is that the Eastern Caribbean is going to jump the Cayman Islands and move into first place. And the Cayman Islands, they're going to move into second place. Asian Stars, they're going to remain on third, and India are 100% totally out of the competition. No chance for them to get into the semifinals now. The most points they can score would be about 7 points, but their net run rate is minus 3.53. They would need to win those games by over 300 runs to win. They're going to be out of the competition. So the Cayman Islands, the Eastern Caribbean, the Asian Stars, and Jamaica will be in the semi-finals. That's going to be coming up in a couple of weeks. Team India are out. So, as I said, this has not yet been updated with this game, but Eastern Caribbean, they're going to move into first place, and Cayman is going to drop into the second slot. Just a reminder, coming up in a couple weeks, next week we have India, Cayman Islands, Jamaica and the Asian Stars. We still have India and the Eastern Caribbean and Jamaica and Cayman left to play as well. However, given the lighting situation, the competitions committee will look at this and see how best to move forward. Once again, I want to thank you all for joining us at the Jimmy Powell Oval today for the Nations Cup game. We're going to be back here again next week. Hopefully, we're going to be here Saturday and Sunday if we can get some games moved around. And we'll be able to bring you more coverage here from the Jimmy Powell Oval in West Bay in the Cayman Islands. Have a great evening and God bless.